Simply Cooking by MmmChef is brought to you in part by CPI Interiors. A great kitchen starts with a great design. Get that custom home interior you dream of. At CPI Interiors, we listen and beautiful happens.
Welcome to Simply Cooking by MmmChef. I'm Daniela and I'm a holistic chef. I take traditional and classic recipes and turn them into nutrient-dense and simple eats. What do you do when you're cooking dinner for yourself? And surprise, you have company. I'm going to show you how to take dinner and turn it into 2, 3, 4, or more. Stay tuned. Have you ever been making dinner for yourself and then had special company arrive? I'm going to show you how to make a simple dinner for one and turn it into a meal for more. I'm making steak and salad for myself tonight, and I'm going to start by making a quick marinade for my steak. I've got some Dijon mustard. I'm going to add to the bottom of my bowl. I've got some onion powder, garlic powder, and my favorite marinade for steak is equal parts soy and equal parts balsamic. Now my soy sauce here is a tamari, which is a gluten-free soy sauce, but you can use any soy sauce you like, and if you don't eat soy, you can use something like coconut aminos, or you can just leave it out altogether and only use the balsamic. I'm gonna give that a couple shakes. Same amount of balsamic. And a little bit of olive oil. Give this a nice whisk. I'm gonna grab my steak from the fridge. Got this beautiful grass-fed flank steak that I'm gonna put into this marinade. Get it on both sides. And I'm gonna set that to the side. I like to marinate my steak for at least 15 minutes, but anywhere from 10 minutes all the way up to 24 hours is enough to give you great flavor. And obviously the longer, the more flavor that you get. Let me turn on this beautiful cast iron pan to get it nice and hot and ready to grill. Now I'm gonna make a salad to go with my steak. Got some romaine lettuce. Now for myself, I love to eat protein and salad for dinner. This can be any protein. I chose flank steak, but you could do chicken breast, salmon, and if you don't eat meat, you could do something like tofu or tempeh, or you could even just open up a can of beans and saute that in the pan using the same marinade. It's delicious with pretty much everything. And add a little bit of spinach. I love a really big salad with my steak. After a long day of cooking in the kitchen for everyone else, I love coming home and eating a big bowl of salad. I'm gonna add some cucumber to my salad and give this a quick chop. And some bell peppers. I love these little bell peppers because you don't really have to cut them in half and take the seeds out. They're so soft that the whole entire pepper, except for the very top, is edible. Even the seeds. I'm also gonna slice this little bit of red onion. And while my pan gets nice and hot, I'm gonna save half the onion so that I can grill it in the pan with my steak. And I'm gonna put the other half of the onion in my salad bowl. Perfect. Now my salad's ready and I'm gonna set that to the side. I can feel my pan getting hot, but it's not quite hot enough. All right. Oh, now it's hot to the touch. I can't even hold my hand over the pan for more than 5 seconds, which means I know it's perfect temperature to start searing a steak. I'm gonna get this steak searing. Listen to that sizzle. And I'm also gonna take this onion and I'm gonna place it right on the pan so it can get some nice grill marks as well. We're gonna take a break while we let this steak cook, and then when we get back, I'm gonna show you how to put it all together.
This program is brought to you in part by CPI Interiors, designing customized home spaces for all tastes and budgets for over 20 years. At CPI Interiors, we listen and beautiful happens.
I just got a call from a friend and she is on her way over. Surprise! Now I have to turn this meal from dinner for one into dinner for two. My steak is nice and seared. I'm gonna take it off the pan so that it can rest. Same with my grilled onions. And now I have to find something to add to this meal. Earlier this week I cooked some rice and I have some left over in the fridge, so I'm gonna grab that. Now we're gonna have steak, rice, and salad. Oh no, she just sent me a text and she's bringing her boyfriend with her too. Now we're gonna be three. What am I gonna do? You know what? I actually have some black beans in the fridge. Maybe I'll turn this into like a little bit of a Mexican bowl. Let's see. All right. Okay, I'm gonna start slicing my steak and get this stuff out of the way. Now, I cooked a flank steak, and with a flank steak, you can see where the grain runs along the meat. The trick to cutting a flank steak is to be cutting it against the grain so that when you bite into it, all the little sections kind of fall apart in your mouth. And that's the trick to not having a chewy piece of flank steak. I'm gonna cut it really nice and thin because instead of just me eating it, now I've got to stretch it for three. Look at that beautiful juice. Oh, it smells so good. Perfect. Let me set this back on the plate. Let me get that cleaned up. All right, now I've got the salad that I pre-prepared. I've got some rice, some black beans, and the steak. And I've got some salad dressing that I had made earlier with balsamic vinegar and olive oil. Now I have just enough food for three. Oh, and now we're gonna be four. Oh no, now what? Rice, salad, steak, black beans. What goes well with that? I have some tomatoes. I'm gonna make up a quick salsa. And you know what I think I'm gonna do? I think I'm gonna turn this all into a Mexican style rice and black bean steak bowl. How perfect. Let me grab some tomatoes. And some cilantro. All right, I'm gonna put these 4 bowls out. I'm kind of sad that I don't get to eat that whole steak myself, but that's all right. Everybody loves company, and sharing a meal with your friends and family is so much more enjoyable than eating by yourself. So no real complaining here. I'm going to portion this rice out into the bottom of all 4 bowls. Cheers. Now this rice is cold because I made it earlier in the week, but that's okay because I think I'm going to turn this kind of into like a cold Mexican salad bowl. Perfect amount of rice. And if we by chance have a 5th person show up, maybe I'll find some sort of tortilla wraps or even some sort of Mexican Tostito chips in the cupboard so that we can bulk it up a little bit more. Now I've got these black beans. I'm going to add them to the bottom of the bowl as well. And I still think the steak needs to rest a little bit longer. So I'm going to go in with the onion. Now I've got to split this onion up into 4 pieces. Everyone will just get one little tiny bite. All right, I'm going to set this all to the side and clean up my board. And then I'm going to chop up the tomatoes with some onion and some cilantro to make like a quick salsa to add to the top. They're going to be here really, really soon, so I better get my butt moving. I will see you after the break. I was able to find a bunch of more ingredients in the back of my fridge. This way, having unexpected guests doesn't mean for panic. You can actually throw something together really quickly, and I'm gonna show you how to do that. I was just gonna have the steak and salad for dinner, but now that I've got 3 other people coming, I found some old rice, some canned black beans, and I'm gonna make a quick salsa and a quick guacamole to go along with that. Now, if you don't have large tomatoes and fresh tomatoes, that's okay. You can actually just use a can of diced tomatoes or cherry tomatoes. And if you don't have tomatoes at all, you don't even need to make salsa from tomatoes. I love to use pineapple in salsa. I love to use mango. And I've even seen people make salsa with berries and things like that. It's just about the other flavors that go along with it. So along with the tomatoes, I'm also going to use some garlic and some cilantro and some lime. Kind of exactly how I'm going to make the guacamole, but I'm going to use avocado as the main ingredient, and then I'm going to use tomato as the main ingredient. All right, I'm going to push that to the side. I'm going to use half of this tomato for the salsa, then the other half I'm going to use for the guacamole. I also was able to find in my cupboard some spices. I've got some cumin powder, some garlic powder, and some chili powder that are going to give my dish that Mexican flavor that I'm going for. Earlier I mentioned how I was going to use this balsamic dressing that I made for my own steak and salad dinner, but I decided to throw that out the window when I found out that I was having more guests over. The balsamic dressing I'll save for myself later in the week. Now I'm going to use all these other flavors to create this Mexican dish. Just going to peel my garlic, give it a nice little squeeze there, and then the peel comes off really easily. Super simple. I'm going to give this garlic a quick chop. And my friends who are on their way don't even have to know that I didn't have this all planned and ready. Oh, this avocado is perfect. Look at that. Give this a nice little quick slice. Excellent. And now a little bit of red onion. It goes into both of my sauces that I'm making. I mean, I'm calling it a sauce, but it's a salsa and a guacamole. Would guacamole be a sauce? It can be whatever you want it to be. I'm gonna give these a quick dice. And then I'm just gonna quickly grab 2 bowls that I forgot to take out. Got 2 little bowls for my guac and my salsa. So half of my red onion into one, and the other half into the other. Half of my garlic into one, and the other half into the other. And then my tomatoes. Oh, I chopped a little bit more than the bowl can hold. That's all right. I'm still gonna give it a stir like this, and then I'll use the rest of those chopped tomatoes just to sprinkle on top of everyone's bowl. All right. I'm gonna put a little bit of the tomato into the guacamole bowl. Oh, I can feel that onion starting to burn my eyes. Don't worry, I'm not crying because I'm sad. And we have a little hard spot on the avocado, so I'm just gonna keep that out. Oh, this half came out perfectly. Look at that. I've got this fork so that I can mush the avocado just a little bit so that it can come together and be a little bit more like a real guacamole. I should have used a bigger bowl, but you know what? When you've got company on the way, you grab the first thing that you see. All right. Now that chili powder that I was talking about, I'm gonna sprinkle it on top of everyone's rice. Same with the cumin powder. And a little bit of that onion powder I was talking about. Now to get all the flavors mixed in together, I'm gonna mix everyone's bowls so the rice and beans become one. Excellent. Now I'm gonna slice open this lime, and I'm gonna save half of it to use as garnish on my taco bowls. And then the other half of it, I'm gonna split into 2, and I'm gonna use as the lime on my guac and the lime in my salsa. What else is missing? Olive oil. Little drizzle of olive oil in my salsa, and a little bit in my guac just for good measure. I've got that fresh cilantro. I'm gonna give that a quick chop as well. If I saw my friend's car outside the door though, I would probably just rip the cilantro apart and throw it on there. Excellent. So now I've got my bowls with the rice and the beans and all the flavor ready to go. It is cold, but as we talked about, this is gonna be like a cold Mexican rice bowl. Now I'm gonna take my steak for 1 and split it up into 4 portions. Let's make sure everyone has an even amount. Yummy, yummy. All right, and now everyone's gonna get a little bit of this. And everyone's gonna get some salsa. Look at these beautiful bowls. taking a dinner for one and turning it into a dinner for four isn't as hard as you may think. Now I've got a salad and a main course, but what about dessert? I'm gonna have to find something in the fridge. They're not here yet, so I definitely have a few minutes before they get here. Let's see what I can find. Wonderful. I always have fresh fruit in the fridge, whether it's beautiful berries or a pineapple or even some peaches and apples. I've always got something going on. I've got these washed beautiful blueberry, raspberry, and strawberries. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna grab this beautiful bowl and I'm going to cut the tops off a few of these strawberries. Yes, my board is very messy, but they're gonna be here any minute, and I wanna make sure that when they walk in, they're surprised and they see that I quickly was able to throw together a meal for all of us to share it together. Some blueberries and raspberries in the bottom of the bowl. I don't wanna use them all because I prepped this for my smoothies for tomorrow morning, so I'm gonna save some for later. Now I've got all these guys. And what am I gonna add to here? Maybe some maple syrup or some honey. Let me see what I've got. Oh, some honey. Excellent. Going to, now this honey is very hard. So I'm gonna put this in a bowl for later and I'm gonna warm this up. And so right before I serve, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to serve the berries and then I'll warm up the honey and drizzle it on top. But you know what? I think I saw some oats in the cupboard. If I take these oats and I sprinkle them in, and then I grab some cinnamon, which I know I've got right here. I've got this beautiful berries and oats ready to go. And then right after we eat dinner, I'll take this bowl and I'll take some honey and I'll melt the honey, probably in the microwave, since we're in a pinch to have 4 people show up when I was only making dinner for one. And I'll drizzle it all over these delicious berries and everyone will get a little bowl of berries with their coffee after we have dinner. Now, see how simple it is to actually be able to turn a dinner for one into a dinner for 4? Having company surprise you at the last minute doesn't have to be cause for panic. Everything is doable. You can find ingredients in the back of your fridge and find ingredients in the back of your pantry to use, and your guests won't even know that it wasn't meant to be this whole time. So simple.